guys, Jeff Newton here with National VA Loans. The contact is the National VA Loans. It's 855-956-4040. Of course, check us out online at www.nationalvaloans.com or click the subscribe button right here in the corner and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's just youtube.com/National VA Loans, and that'll keep you current with all the up-to-date information for VA home loans and how they pertain to you as a veteran or as an active duty service member. All right, guys, today what we want to talk about is closing costs and VA loan closing costs. And we're going to do kind of a real quick overview of what these are and what you can expect as a veteran buyer when you go and you give us a call here, of course, at 855-956-4040. But this is what you can kind of expect. And keep in mind, these do fluctuate depending on different areas of the country. But I just want you to kind of get an idea of what there is out there. All right, so VA loan closing costs, the first thing you're going to have is going to be the appraisal. That's the first thing to think of is appraisal. All right, so the appraisal, and it differs per area. It's a matter of supply and demand. The VA employs its own VA appraisers. So what they do is they vet them, they qualify the VA appraiser to make sure they meet the standards for the VA, and then that's who's in the pool for us to select from. And when I say select, we just submit the order to the VA. The VA then selects the appraiser, and the order goes out, and the order comes back complete. So that is going to be anywhere from, I know this is kind of a wide range, but 500 to 1,000. And you're asking, okay, what's the difference? Why such a wide range? And here's why. Number one, like what I just said, availability. Number two, where's it at? Is it off the beaten path or is it in town? Is it a drive for the VA appraiser or is it local? So there's a couple different reasons. Number three, the size of the property. Are you buying a 4,000 square foot house or a 1,800 square foot house? That makes a difference also. Ease of finding comparables. So there's a number of different things that go into that and make a difference. But just know that the appraisal is going to run you anywhere between $500 and $1,000 for the appraisal. And those aren't things, I could speak for only us here, but those aren't things that we mark up. Those are, we take the exact invoice from the VA appraiser, and that's what we show you guys on the loan estimate or the closing disclosure. Next is, of course, credit report. These are all fees that are relative to every VA loan out there as far as a VA purchase or cash out refinance goes. Now, for those of you that know what the VA interest rate reduction is, of course, you won't have the appraisal costs in there, but for the majority, everyone's going to have that appraisal fee for your typical loan style. So, credit report fee, the VA has set this up to where it cannot go over a certain threshold. So typically that threshold is $100. Now, I don't know that this is going to change or if the VA is going to change what they allow on that, but I do know the prices of credit reports have gone up dramatically. All right. And it's been, I've been doing this for 21 years. I can remember when I pulled credit, back in the day. God, it sounds so freaking old. Back in the day. And credit reports were for two borrowers, for all three reports, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, it was about $14. So average right now is close to that $100 number. So it is incrementally gone up. Now they've made changes in reporting and things like that. So I'm sure they can justify their cost increase. Not to me they can't, but somewhere they can. So you got to think about that, but you should never be charged more than $100 just for a credit report when doing a VA loan. All right, next I want to get into lender fee. Okay, lender fee. The way this works, this can range, right? And this is different per lender. Every lender has a different fee, and they call it different things. So for this purpose and to help understand the difference here, you've got lender fee, which is processing underwriting fee. That's a lot of times what we see is a lender fee. That's what we call our lender fee, is a processing underwriting fee. Obviously, you have to get your loan processed, and obviously, you've got to get it underwritten. So those two then obviously, there's costs associated with that, with employees and things of that nature. So that's a lender fee for us here at National VA. We know what our lender fee is. I know exactly what it is. I'll tell you exactly what it is. It is $11.95 That covers our processing and our underwriting. So your underwriting of your loan, the closing of your loan, everything is covered in that fee. Now, what you've got to watch, okay, is this. Number 4 is discount and origination. Okay, so discount fee. Let's start. Well, actually, we're going to start with origination first. A lot of times you're going to see this origination fee and the lender fee are going to be in the same box on your loan estimate. Okay, that's where they belong. That's where they're supposed to be. But if it's broken down, processing fee, underwriting fee, and origination fee, that means you're charged an additional fee on top of the processing and underwriting. Okay, I'm not saying that you don't want to pay that. I'm just saying that you don't have to pay that everywhere you go. Like I said, we know exactly what our fee is every time. So it's just an additional cost. Now, the discount, okay, and this is where things can get a little bit confusing for a lot of our borrowers out there. The discount fee is supposed to be what's called a bona fide discount. It's supposed to be in order to get the rate that you are locking in. All right, so if someone tells you they're going to be able to get you 6.75% and it's going to cost you a half a point, okay? So that means you should expect a 0.5 discount on your loan estimate or your closing disclosure, okay? Now, if you buy, and we're just going to keep this real simple. If you're buying a $100,000 house, a 0.5 discount would be $500, all right? So it keeps it real simple. It just gets put into the loan, you pay it at closing. If you're doing a purchase, you just come to closing, you pay it out there. But you are actually paying that to get that interest rate. Now, not every loan has to have that, but that's what you want to look at if they say, well, how much? If you ask how much it's costing to get that rate, you want to look for the discount to see if there's any charge there. If there's not a charge there, then you want to look at your origination costs, okay? That's the next place to look, is that origination cost. If it's higher than what the processing and underwriting fee is, that's additional cost they're charging you to do the loan. I know I'm going through that really quick. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, give us a call. Or even if it does, give us a call, 855-956-4040. Happy to explain it. Any of our VA specialists are happy to explain that because it does get a little bit not dicey, but confusing. And because I think people like to make it confusing. We like to simplify it, make it really easy for you. So, all right, next, I'm going to remove this here, but 5 is title. Title fees. Okay. Title fees are going to come from the title company. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't know, as a veteran, as a buyer, you're allowed to pick the title company. Okay, typically what happens is you make an offer on a house, they approve the offer, and the seller's agent or your agent will have a title company they want you to use, someone they work with on a regular basis. Not saying that's not a good idea. Sometimes, most of the time it is, because they're familiar with them. They may have a little bit of a deal with them, probably not, but they're familiar and they know that they do a good job. And that's really what you're looking for, is someone to do a good job for you. But depending on where you're at, those fees can be exorbitant, all right? They can get up there. And it's more money out of your pocket at closing. You know, the best thing about a VA loan is it's 100% financing. We want to keep as much money in your pocket as possible. So what I would look at is if you see the fees are a little more than what you like, or if you're working with us and we see the fees are a little bit higher than what we've seen on an average basis, we'll help you find another title company. More than welcome to do that. Of course, you can always negotiate with the current title company. We'll even help you with that. You know, a lot of times getting another quote will help you negotiate on those title fees. So that's kind of where we come in. We'll be sure to help you with that. And we'll also tell you if you're getting a great deal and if it's exactly what you're supposed to be getting. So we're there for you on that as well. All right, lastly, and this one can be confusing. All right, so a lot of people like to call it this, junk fees. We see this a lot. I hear this a lot. A whole lot I hear this. Junk fees. What are junk fees? Okay. Junk fees. All right. They're really basically third-party fees. They're going to be things like VOE, VON, flood cert, things along those lines. VOE is a verification of employment. VON, verification of mortgage. Flood cert, that's clear. That's a flood certification. Those all add up. Now, keep in mind, those are all third-party fees. Those are nothing that your lender is charging you. Those are nothing that the VA loan is charging you. That is what is required by the lender, by the VA, to do the loan. All these things are required. They all have an additional cost, of course. So they all get put in there. Keep in mind, all these are third-party fees. Oh, not that. All these here are third-party fees. The only thing that isn't is either the lender fee or a discount. So if you're getting a discount, or if you're paying a discount, that discount is for your interest rate, or to get that lower interest rate. So that's not a third-party fee. The process and underwriting, not a third-party fee. Most everything else is. A lot of people think that the mortgage company, the lender, is what's really costly in a situation on a loan. Unfortunately, all the trusts and checks that go into a loan is typically what costs, which requires third parties. So the biggest thing to remember is, number one, you need to feel comfortable with who you're working with, comfortable with who you're doing business with. You need to find someone that's going to explain these things to you in a little more detail, even than what I did just now. You know, like I said, I want to do a broad stroke. If you have questions on the VA closing costs or VA funding or any of those things, give us a call at 855-956-4040. We're happy to answer any questions. We have VA specialists waiting to take your calls. They'll be glad to answer your questions and then see what they can get you qualified for. Again, it's 855-956-4040. Check us out online at nationalvaloans.com. And if you're one of those proactive people that say, you know what, Jeff, it all makes sense, I want to apply and I really want to see what I can do, go to www.nationalapplynow.com. Check it out. I assure you, you won't be disappointed. All right, folks, until next time, thank you for your service and God bless you.